Hello students. Today we'll discuss about the asexual reproductions of the rhizopus. Before starting the asexual reproduction, we discuss the reproduction in rhizopus. So in rhizopus, reproduces by asexually as well as sexually. So in asexual reproduction, there is the development of the aplanospores and chlamydospores that will present on the sporangiophore. And in regarding the asexual reproduction, in sexual reproduction there are again two types. One is the homothallic and second one is the heterothallic. So homothallic, that means the zygospores are present on the same thallus, that is positive zygospores and negative zygospores. In heterothallic condition, the zygospores are present in two different thalli. So in homothallic, they are present, positive as well as negative zygospore are present on the same thallus, and they can develop the gametangia. These gametangia will be unite and they form the zygospores, and zygospore forms the zygote. This zygote undergoes the meiosis, and meiosis will forms the zygospores. So the zygospores will germinate and mycelium is formed. In case of the heterothallic conditions, there is the difference between the presence of positive and negative zygospore. They are present on the two different branches or two different thallus, and they produces the gametangia. These gametangia will be unite. They form zygospore. Zygospores forms the zygote. These zygotes will undergo the meiosis and they forms the zygospores. The zygospores undergoes germination and forms the mycelium. So in shortly, this two types of reproduction takes place in the rhizopus. So first of all, or today we discuss about the asexual reproduction in the rhizopus. So asexual reproduction will take place by the productions of aplanospores, and the second one is the chlamydospores. So first we discuss about the aplanospores, which is also called as the sporangium. So this is the structure of rhizopus. In that the sporangium is present. On that sporiferous zones at the tip, in that spores are present, and at the center there is the sterile columella is present. So in the mycelial forms, the mycelia forms the erect sporangiophore in clusters. Each sporangiophore is erect, unbranched, and hold sporangium at the apex. So each sporangium is spherical. It has vacuolar regions at center surrounded by the aplanospores. तो जो mycelium है, mycelium क्या करता है? This mycelium produces the erect sporangiophore, and on that sporangiophore at the apex there is the developed sporangium. So this sporangium is spherical shape रहता है उसका, और in that the center or vacuolar region there is the aplanospores are present. So this is the structure of aplanospore, that is the spherical in state, and they will be non-motile, multinucleate and diploid in stage. So in the germination, this sporangium breaks to liberate the aplanospores. Each aplanospore germinate to forms the germ tube, so which forms the mycelium and establishes on the substratum. This is takes place in place of प्लानोस्पोर्स. जो माइसेलियम है, माइसेलियम ग्रोथ होके वहाँ पे इरेक्ट स्पोरेंजियोफोर प्रोड्यूस होता है. देन ईच स्पोरेंजियोफोर्स डेवलप द स्पोरेंजियम एट द अपेक्स. This sporangium is spherical in shape, and at the center they contain the aplanospores. These aplanospores are the spherical, non-motile, multinucleate and diploid in stage. After the breaking of this sporangium, the sporangium breaks and the aplanospores will be liberated, and then these each aplanospores will germinate as a or they can be developed mycelium on the substratum. So this is all happening regarding the aplanospores. Next is about the chlamydospores. So chlamydospores, and they mostly develop in the unfavorable conditions. So in case of the first figure is the cells of the or the myceliums of the rhizopus. In that hyphae is present, then in there accumulations will be takes place, and there is the chlamydospores are developed. So in case of the chlamydospores, during unfavorable conditions, these protoplasmic contents of the hyphae accumulates at the central point. तो जो भी hyphae के अंदर जो भी प्रोटोप्लाज्मिक मटेरियल है, दिस मटेरियल will be accumulated at the one point or at the center. And each accumulations develop into one thick wall around itself to form chlamydospores. क्या होता है कि जब भी अनफेवरेबल कंडीशन तैयार होती है, तो जो भी हाइपी के अंदर जो माइसेलियम के अंदर जो प्रोटोप्लाज्मिक मटेरियल है, दिस प्रोटोप्लाज्मिक मटेरियल एक जगह पे वो एक्यूमुलेट हो जाता है. फिर जो जहाँ पे एक्यूमुलेशन हुआ है उसके साइड में थिक ऑल डेवलप हो जाती है, एंड दे फॉर्म्स द chlamydospores. So this chlamydospores, it is intercalaries, thick all accumulated with reserve food material around it, and after the favorable conditions, the chlamydospores germinate to form mycelium. So these chlamydospores are placed intercalary in between the cells. So they forms the thick wall surroundings, and they also accumulate the or they can store the reserve material. So in favorable conditions, these chlamydospores will germinate and they form the mycelium. So in these two ways, the asexual reproduction takes place in the rhizopus, that is development of the aplanospores and chlamydospores. So this is regarding the asexual reproductions in rhizopus. So for today we can only discuss about the asexual reproduction. In next video we talk on the sexual reproduction. So in rhizopus mainly two types of reproduction takes place, asexual and sexual. In asexual there is the development of aplanospores and chlamydospores. So these aplanospores will develop on the mycelium. First this mycelium forms the sporangiophore, and on that sporangiophore the sporangium is developed at the apex. The sporangium is spherical and they form the at the center they form the aplanospores. These aplanospores are non-motile, multinucleate, diploid in stage. These aplanospores, after the sporangium breaks, they will be liberated, and each aplanospores germinate to mycelium. And in case of chlamydospores, in unfavorable condition, the protoplasmic contents will be accumulated at the certain point, and they will be developed the thick wall around it, and that is nothing but the chlamydospores. After this finishing, or they placed at the intercalaris position. In favorable conditions, these chlamydospores will grow, or they will be germinate as a new mycelium. So this is all regarding the asexual reproduction in the rhizopus. So in that the question or MCQs or multiple choice questions are asking regarding the aplanospores and chlamydospores. So the definitions will be very important, and in which conditions these are the, what is the difference between aplanospores and chlamydospores. So you have to read all the information in this asexual reproduction. So now I stop here. In next video we discuss about the sexual reproductions of rhizopus.